insert cool intro track here that we do not have. But everyone, welcome back to episode 11 of the Mind of Matt podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Ian McKillop. Co-host is Neima Aryan. I saw some of the comments from last week and some comments from other people on Discord, and a intro song was something I think would be really cool. So
Oh
Neima,
shit! They actually want the intro song.
yeah, I've had some people be like, "Yo, you should do an intro song, like 10,
Wow.
15 seconds." And then
I was somewhat being facetious, but hey, if it's what's needed.
yeah, I think it would definitely up the quality of the podcast. And another thing that I am working on as well is like trying to make this whole thing for YouTube animated a bit. It's been a bit difficult. I have some of it animated, but it's like being weird with the whole cameras and everything. So I'll have to figure that out. But it is a work in progress, and Nima just actually showed me his like little 1 minute rap snippet that he did, which is very good, by the way. He went kind of hard. I'm gonna be honest. It was pretty hard.
Sometimes
Um,
I have to do what I have to
yeah, this a son of Drake over here, honestly. Uh, so, but yeah, so we'll definitely make an intro. But again, as you guys know, me and music don't really go well together. My taste in music is pretty awful.
do. I put Ian onto Drake.
He
Our
did.
freshman year of college, all Ian would have his earbuds going to class. The only thing he listened to was Drake because of me.
Oh yeah, I did literally because I didn't know anything about music, and then of course I roomed with Nima for a year, and then it's a lot of
No, no,
Drake all
no,
the
no. I
time.
have no problem with it. I was just like, Ian, I like when people admire the music, so you were like just jamming to it. I'm like, that's respect, man.
Well, did he have it? Didn't he have a new album come out in 2016? I
Oh
think he
yeah, I think it was like Views or
it was
something.
Views.
Oh
That's what
no, Views was
I
a
think.
senior year of high school.
Okay, so around
So maybe it was
2016.
like you listened to it freshman year of college. So it
Yeah,
was a year difference, really. Yeah, I mean, because 2016, because then we went to college that year.
right. Yeah.
Um,
So yeah. So basically, Drake is like my first ever person I grinded music on. Like person I first was ever watched music on, and then like I've been a huge Drake fan ever since, obviously. But the other new stuff, like, I'm gonna be honest, even when we play songs at parties, I don't know like 90% of them. I'm
well,
gonna
hey,
be
you know
on.
what I mean? That means
And
you just have to go back and listen.
yeah, and I don't really care most of the time. It's like, it's just background music,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
I'm
good music
like,
to listen to when we hang out and do stuff like that. Like,
yeah, and then but it's like kind of wish I knew the song, but I'm just like I don't really care enough to, to really research it or whatnot.
you heard it
Um,
from Ian McKillop first, guys. You
there
heard it
you
here first.
there you go. But a 10 to 15 second intro, that should definitely be something we'll do. We'll do again. And I'll work on the whole background. Hopefully, I can make it more animated and cooler. But it'll be a lot different from this. But it is, of course, work in progress. Slash, I've been a tad bit lazy this week, but that's okay. Um, I'll have to pick that up probably on Sunday, I'd say, when we're probably recovering from the party that we have on Saturday.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good time to do it probably. I don't have to do anything,
Really.
but anyways, getting into the podcast, pretty slow week in terms of things happening. Actually, the last like I'd say actually 2 or 3 weeks has been pretty slow. Nothing's crazy going on. Thor came out. Thor 4 came out. I have watched it, but Nima's not. So we'll discuss that at a later time because I think that's like the big MCU movie that's coming out. It's for I think for the rest of the year, I believe.
Yeah.
So that'll be pretty much not maybe a midpoint through phase 4. So we'll probably talk about it in a later podcast. But today, um, I want to talk about something with Twitch because we haven't really. I don't think we've talked about some Twitch
So
stuff.
before we get into that,
Oh yes.
let's talk
Oh
about
my
what
God! I
happened.
almost forgot. Thank you for
So,
reminding me. Thank you for reminding
guys,
me.
what happened last week? I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. You understand me? Ian and I, we podcast was good that week. We had a good time doing it. We recorded, we were laughing. We talked about some things we haven't talked about before, so it was just cool for us to do. And we're wrapping up, and I do my salute or whatever, wave off. And I kid you not, this is on video. This is the reason I'm saying this.
Mhm.
We wrap up. Something catches my peripheral. I don't know what it is. Maybe my screen is flickering, whatever. So I take a look. You watch me video. I look for a second, and I dead ass see a roach just slowly walking, just finding his way through my desk. So I look for a solid second, like this isn't happening. There's not a roach on my desk right now. And then once it kind of kicked in, I just flew out of the chair. I mean, I ran. I ran and I ran. Yes, when I rather fight snakes. I rather literally go hand to hand combat with snakes. Literally at like a school of martial arts rather than than touch or have to be in a situation to kill a roach. They are the nastiest things.
Oh
The
my
way
god.
they move, the worst ones are the ones that fly. I told Ian there was a moment, and this is
Oh
Ian's
my
dying over
god,
there.
dude.
This is no exaggeration, no joke. There was one night I got home late. I go upstairs. I
Oh,
had
this.
dinner. I go upstairs. No, actually, this isn't. I always confuse the story. So I actually got this car cover for my car. It's even worse. It's even worse. I got this car cover for my car, and right, I put it on my car, cool, whatever. But I was about to leave, so it was kind of stupid. My dad was like, "Oh, we need to put it on." I was like, okay, so I need to take it off now. So I take it off. I'm wrapping it up. And I think I'm walking to the door. I can't remember why I'm not walking to the door. But I think I was trying to tell my dad something. And there was a roach on the door. And I kid you not, I'm going to say it again. I kid you not. That roach flew at me. And when I'm telling you, we've talked about Moon Knight, when he flashes into two different people, I literally flashed into somewhere on the street. Like literally maybe 50 feet. I ran so fast that I was like, it was like, and I like woke up like on the street. It was so scary. That roach flew at me. It was terrible. So the one that I got confused with, there's another story.
Oh god.
I left food in my car essentially, and I went inside. It's 1 a.m. I'm doing work stuff. I like to do research at night because people don't text you at night. Boom. And I'm like, oh, Neima, you're a dumbass. You left the food in the car. So I go back to I'm taking the food. There's a roach by the door. And I told Ian, there was a solid 5 second span that I genuinely was like, I may not get into my house tonight. Because that thing it was not on the door, but it was on the wall next to the door. Any slight movement, I could have been attacked by it.
Dude.
So I finally just made a run for it and got inside.
Oh
So
man.
I'm telling you, like this roach on my desk was what did I keep saying? I kept saying something about the fortress has been like penetrated. Like
Yes.
what it was what is the Doctor Strange like
The sanctum. This
yeah,
serum
literally
sanctum. Yeah.
the sanctum was broken into. So the bug guys came, and that's why they're coming out because the bug guys came. They're like, yeah, like they may like we might flush them out. When I saw it up here, I called them the next day and I said, I swear to you, if you don't bring your crew back here to go kill the rest of these, I said, lady, I literally said, lady, there was a roach on my desk, and she's like, I'm so sorry about that, sir. So apologize for the roach rant, but
No.
there is video
The guy,
evidence
yeah,
of it.
yeah, and I'm glad. We were talking about this, and I completely forgot as soon as we're recording. Typical Ian thing. I'm so glad you reminded me of that because it's it was hilarious. I do have it on camera, guys. If anyone's wondering, you can DM me on Discord or type in my regular chat Discord. I will put it in there if anyone wants me to, because it's just Neema like it's a. I wish I was recording like just a little
Mm.
bit longer because I stopped the recording because I think because you broke the sound barrier on my end, so I didn't hear you until the post recording. So then I was like, oh, there's actually sound to it because initially I didn't think there was sound, but I mean, hey man, we all have fears, dude.
Dude.
My fear. You were talking about snakes. I hate snakes, dude. Like when I was young, you'd always go to the zoo, right? And the Houston Zoo's like pretty big, and they have this like I don't know how it is now, but like they have this whole like building for just like reptiles and shit.
Oh god.
And my parents would love to go in there with my sister and I swear to God, every time I went in there, I thought I was gonna die because I was like, these like big ass snakes are slithering
Hey,
around, and I'm like, it's like I was like Indiana Jones. I'm like, I can't do this, dude. I can't do this.
I kind of get the snakes, but at the same time, like the thing about the roaches that are
But the roaches
disgusting,
can't kill you though. Snakes can kill you.
I don't care about the killing part. I care about the part when they go up your leg or they get on you because they're not easy. Like, at least you can see the snake. The roach might be on your neck, man. No, okay. I don't think I've told you this. I know I've told you. Did I tell you about the story about the scorpion?
No, you haven't told me about
Oh
this.
my God. This is where I got my powers, everybody. So,
Okay.
sophomore year of college, I used to have this hamper. It was like next to my TV stand, and I would have hoodies in there because every day I would love to go to class, and I would have a hoodie on and like sweats, and I would like be comfortable. So one morning I get up, get my clothes on, throw my hoodie on, and the state on campus, mind you, this place is like in the forest. Okay, so this is why I'm not surprised. So I go to class. I'm in the C programming class, and it's already a hard class. I'm just there, and I'm listening, and I feel something get me here. But sometimes whenever you feel like there's like a tag or something and it feels like it may pinch you.
Yeah.
So I was like, like, what was that? So I was just like, whatever. So then this guy to my left a minute later is like, dude. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he rolls up his paper and he goes and taps the top of my hood because I have my hood on. And the whole time I'm like, oh, what if it's a spider? Like, what? A scorpion just falls right on the ground. The scorpion was this big.
Oh my god.
It was for those that are on Spotify and Apple and different type of podcasts that have YouTube. It was about like 4 inches or 5 inches. That scorpion. But I mean, the bigger they are, the like less poisonous. But dude,
That's intimidating though.
I've never seen a scorpion this big, and I just stared at it, and it was like, dude, I was Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan when he got like shell shocked. The guy's like, kill it, and all I'm hearing is, and I'm like, that didn't just fall out of my hood. So then I kind of come to, and I smashed that scorpion so hard I think I dented the ground from and my arm, like right here. I had a bump, like
I
a
was about to say
fat.
he pinched you, yeah.
He stung me. I had a fat bump. Ever since then, I have like this. I have this niche now, and it used to be a lot worse. If I was just doing something and I felt a tag touch me, I would totally flip out
Uh
because I would think a scorpion.
mhm.
So, but still, I'd rather have a scorpion get me than a roach. So that's the moral of the story, everybody.
For me it's always about the kill factor for me it's like when it comes to fear. It's like I understand like fear of roaches because like they're
Eh,
creepy and crawling and whatnot, but like if you got like a python and a roach, which one would you rather fight?
I'd
And
rather
and,
fight the
and
python.
don't say the python because your ass knows you pick that
I
roach
will
every single
go
day of the
hand
week.
to hand combat with that python.
Oh yeah.
Catch it and just
Let's put this man like the rainforest and gets a boa constrictor and see what he says. Oh, the roach. Oh, let's
you're
go
too
against
fast.
the boa. Like, let's do
It's
that.
crawly, it's too fast, it's disgusting. I can't even I can't even explain. You know what? Let's put a vote, okay? We'll let the people answer.
Okay. So, okay. I
Okay,
guess
no,
like
let's make it a more fair. Let's make it like a evenly fair thing. Do you have a fear of roaches more or a fear of snakes more? Like
fair enough.
which one do you fear the most? And we're not talking about like anything factor, like kill factor, or like just the crawly. Because like the crawly for me is like, oh god. But I love spiders. Spiders are really cool,
I hate spiders.
dude. Spiders are amazing because they straight up. I that same apartment, I had a massive spider live outside my door. Every day, that spider would take the web down, and then at night, like all day, build it, and then at night, like just massive web. Every day would redo it around the clock, and this massive web, and it would literally catch so many bugs in that thing. And this spider at the end of the night would walk to it, wrap it up, and literally just like drink it like a smoothie.
So Neima is Vecna, guys. If you're not wondering,
So
love spiders, by the way.
So what I'm saying is for the ecosystem, they kill all the mosquitoes and the flies. Like they're cool with me because they do something. You
Hmm.
feel me? They do something. The roaches, what do they do? What do they do? Just carry diseases, crawl. What? They're so nasty. They have nothing good. Like they're the only things that can survive probably like a nuclear bomb.
We
You
should
know
test
that,
it.
like
We should test that. Instead of the vote, we should get a nuclear bomb, snake and roach who survives, and that's who the scariest is right there. That's what we should do. Do you have any low key, like, it's not low key, like a fear of something depending on like how dogs are either really aggressive or just like Lucy, your dog, who's just like a sweetheart. Do you
yeah.
have like any of those kind of like fears where it's like this
No,
certain
because I
type of
think like
animal?
those fears are more like traumatic fears. Because I know some people that like are scared of dogs, but they're like scared because they were like bit when they were a kid.
This guy right here, this
Oh
guy.
yeah, you got bit like you got bit as
I've been bit twice, and I've been bit twice, and then I've been run over by
hard.
a dog. Yeah, I drew blood each time.
You
Like
got ran over by a dog.
when I was like, so God, I was like 5 or 6.
You're fine with Lucy.
Yeah, no, because Lucy doesn't do anything. Lucy just wants to be petted. There's a difference. There are two
Yeah,
dog. There are two dogs in this world that are
yeah.
amazing. My sister's dog Shelby, who just again wants. It's like Lucy, just wants to be petted. And Lucy, who just does nothing and just sits down and wags her
And just
tail half the time. Yeah,
yeah,
like
and just like literally
she's
kerplunk
and
next
she's
to
never.
everybody.
I think I've heard her bark once, and it was
And
like
yeah, she barks at just like if she sees some random shit outside.
right, but like nothing like
She
aggressive.
doesn't really bark. Yeah, no, she doesn't really bark.
Yeah, but I've been so when I was 5 or 6, as I was saying, big ass golden retriever. One of my neighbor's dogs. God, those I remember those two golden retrievers. They gave me nightmares. I'm gonna be honest,
Oh my god.
dude. Because I was
You're like, hey,
going.
this Chihuahua was maybe the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, there was a Chihuahua one time, but we'll
Golden
ignore that.
retrievers are like the least scary
Dude,
dogs.
one of them tried to bite me one time, dude. Like I okay, forget the Chihuahua about the golden retriever. Like
Golden
I'm
retriever's
going
not scary at all.
I'm going to my friend's house, and the golden retriever is like I'm running, and this golden retriever makes a fucking beeline for me for some reason, and I try to get out of its way because I don't know what it's going for. So I try to left, but then it goes left as well. I'm like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? On a collision
Oh
course,
god.
and then of course the dog is like, you know, weighs more than me, guarantee you stronger than me, just rams me over. I'm flipping in the air like some
Oh my
like
god.
some like spiral or something, and I fall right on my back, and I'm like, I thought it was I'm sure I'd cry like as any kid would in that situation. But man, I think that was my
So maybe the
genesis of
dog was trying to play with you.
no. The dog went somewhere. I don't remember where the dog went. I'm gonna be
Maybe the
honest.
dog was trying to play with you and you got scared of it.
Maybe that's like that potentially what could have happened. But then over the years, when I did a campaign for the current mayor of Houston, I got bit there, and then I got
What?
bit. Yeah, I know. For I was on Sylvester Turner's campaign, like
And you're
whenever he
like,
went, and I was going around talking with people, and this one lady was talking to very nice, and her dog was doing nothing. Out of nowhere, barks and then fucking bites me. I'm like, what? Like shit! Ow! Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing, dude? And like, and of course
dog was it?
it was. I can't remember. It was like some medium sized dog. I don't know.
Okay, so what did the lady say?
Well, she was like, of course, in complete shock. I didn't. It wasn't her fault. She's like, oh, I'm just so sorry. Like, and she
Oh
offered
my
like,
god.
like she was afraid I was gonna like sue her or something, probably. I mean,
Maybe
and
why not?
some people would. I'm like, it's fine. It's I mean, like I was bleeding obviously, so she had to give me like a band-aid and shit. But I told him like I'm done for the day. I'm not doing anything more. I'm going home. Like
Where did you bite you? Your hand or your like
my
forearm?
my my leg.
What?
Yeah, just straight up bit my leg like it was some like lamb chop or something. And then
Yeah.
you know what's worse? As I was going home, I think I've said this once on stream. I don't know if I have. This I'm sure I don't know if I told you this. Great Dane, like some just roided up dog, ready to fight anything. Yeah, I'm walking across the other side of the street, and I hear this like boom, and it's like, and it's the dog just going right to the fence and just barking with his teeth like it was. I mean, I was like, I remember jumping, and then the owner was right there, and he laughed at me. I'm like, bro, fucking control your dog, bro. This dude, like this dog was if there was not a fence right there, we would not be doing this podcast. I would not have been able to stream. I would
It's
have
not.
literally been dead. Like I would have been dead.
Hey man, those dogs are protective. What can I say?
I was across the street. What, like, I don't know where else.
Hey
Like,
man, dude, they're dogs, man.
dude, and I started walking fast. I'm like, fuck this. And then,
Yeah, dude, you had some bad experiences with
yeah,
some
and then
dogs.
a couple months ago, I'm bringing this thing in to be replaced, and like I have both my hands full basically. It's a little shop, and it's run by like one or two people. But they have this one dog who I'm assuming is there for protective purposes, and the problem is they forgot to put the dog away during business hours. So I come in and I'm like, oh, hello, and what's up? And then the dog starts barking at me and showing teeth. And I don't think the owner knew that it was out there. Like, if he thought he'd put it away. And so I drop the thing I was bringing in, and I go right outside. I'm like, just waiting there and waiting for the dog to be put in. He's like, I I guarantee you the dog was gonna bite me if I didn't leave in like the next 2 seconds. And because I mean, like when a dog is approaching you at a pretty solid pace,
I
barking
mean,
and
if you're
showing
showing
teeth
teeth and like
and
you're
showing
pretty.
teeth, and you don't know the dog, like, and I don't know if the dog's gonna bite. I mean, I'm not waiting to find out either if he's gonna take
Yeah,
a chomp
fair
at
enough.
me.
You just
Yeah,
got you just drew the bad straws, man.
right. And of course the owner gave me a massive discount. I because like I was convinced it was gonna cost like $500-600 for this thing, and it was like only 100. I was like, you clearly giving me a discount. I wasn't gonna say no though because I was like, the dog kind of was out, and I didn't like, and I told him like I have
Killed
massive
me.
fear of dogs,
I
so
was saying your dog almost killed me.
yeah, so I almost kill you. That's a very strong word. The Great Dane would have killed me. That's for sure. But I don't know about that one. So, but that's my low key fear. But nothing will trump snakes though. Snakes are I think they're all just killers in my opinion.
No, we're
So
gonna leave it to the vote because we're gonna see what the vote
yeah.
says.
So roaches are snakes. If you wrote roaches, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But just you're not cut out for this world clearly.
It is
um,
what it is.
but anyways, completely sidetracked there by biggest fears. Something that I want to talk about before Neima reminded me about what we want to talk about was about really about Twitch streams, and this will be kind of a more of a solo segment for me. I get this question asked a lot, and it's how'd you grow on Twitch? How did you, I guess, quote unquote, make it? And of course, every single time, and I guarantee you, a lot of other streamers in my position gave the same answer. And well, the answer is it's a complete bullshit in terms of like, there's no good answer for success on Twitch because Twitch is a Twitch is a great place, and a lot of people who make online content will agree with me. Maybe it's on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, whatnot. There's like let's say that there's like 3 levels. You can make it divided up more. I'm sure Nemo, I'll talk about when I say this. There is the top 0.01%, the people who are on legit contracts and make a fuck ton of money on online content creation on any platform, whatever. The next I guess level, which is where I put myself in, is someone who has no contract but does make money off the platform and makes not good enough money for it to be a full time job yet, but enough money to where it's like, hey, that's a couple grand kind of thing, maybe a bit more. And then there's the other part where it's you're not making any money and you're just streaming just a stream. And I got this question about a week ago, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. It wasn't the usual question how it wasn't the usual question how what was I'm trying to say like how to become successful. It was like, what do you mark as success? And I was like, shit, that's a really good question because that's like it's different. Like it's different because I was seeing myself that is very independent. Like I was surprised I got that kind of question in a Twitch chat, but that's why I want to talk about the podcast because it was more I can just say on a Twitch stream was that Twitch, like again as I said, all this online content is great. You can upload as much as you want or not upload as much as you want. It's entirely up to you. But how you mark success is not what's happening inside of Twitch, but what's happening outside of it. And You may ask me, what the fuck does that mean? That makes no sense.
Hmm.
Because usually your success is on the platform, your straight up channel analytics, followers, subs, the whole thing. But it's more of your outside because you think about it. Do you have a job? Yes or no? Do you go to school? Yes or no? Do you have any outside obligation where it is more or less the number one more important thing in your life? And I think a lot of people don't understand is that if you want to make this, obviously you can still try to be successful on Twitch, but depending on what's going on outside your life will either hinder or help you create a successful Twitch channel. And in my opinion, from my vantage point of view, I'm trying to get a job right now. I'm trying to get a job that can actually give me enough money to survive. And because I write like I'm not gonna get into the statistics on how much I make per year or whatever. That's boring and stupid and not allowed. But it's not enough for me to support myself, as I said. So for me, measuring success is, am I making good enough money to where I have extra cash, and also am I having a good time as well?
Yeah.
Because I think for me, like the moment I stop having fun and it becomes a chore is will be the day where I either stop streaming or barely stream anymore. Because there was a time about a year or so ago when I had that feeling. It was like, okay, I got a stream day, and for me it was like you got to stream. And the way I like kind of said to myself, I'm like, shit, like that's not like that sounded like you're not enjoying it like that much. And I was like, shit. And then I was like, I gotta like reassess what I want to do. And but it was kind of more of a burnout thing, which I think people get. But like it started to get me thinking, like, where do I want to go with my channel, and what would other people want to do with their channel as well? Because a lot of people, again, measuring success is different. If you stream once a week and you enjoy doing it, then I think that's success. That's a successful Twitch stream because it's a hobby for you and you have fun. Yes, you don't. You probably average what 5-6 viewers, but you have fun in that 5-6 hour period where you stream on a Saturday. Then I think that's, to me, that's successful. But for someone else, like let's say, fucking, I don't know, Moist Critical. If he averaged 5 viewers the next day, for him it would not be successful. And I just think like measuring success instead of how to become successful is two very different things on Twitch and on online content creation. God, I can't say that word. That you have to be mindful of when you're approaching it. And I think some people do this well, some people don't. Is that you know they'll take it as more or less a hobby than something they're trying to like do and build and blow up. And I think people should still try for that if they want to, but you also have to realize at the end of the day that people need bread. Everyone needs bread,
Sure.
and there's always been some like weird notion that like, oh, just you're just doing it for the money, but sometimes you need green, bro. Everyone needs green in this world.
Let me survive, man.
Yeah, it's the only way to survive. And like I think like and you gotta realize that. And if you need a job, you need a job. You don't stream, and that's how it is. And you know, but how does that? Even though that wouldn't that doesn't make a successful Twitch stream in terms of viewer count, money, and numbers, but it does when it's something that is enjoyable. And for me right now, I am very much enjoying Twitch. I am very happy to say I'm enjoying Twitch. I have had the best numbers I've had this month, ever. Today I average like fucking way too many views. Like I don't know. I guarantee it was like 130 or something. And but for me, like, but when I measured that success in the day, did I feel good? Did I have a good time? Did it feel like a chore? And I can successfully say, even though sometimes I have a bad day and play like shit, no. And I think that's like the end of the day where it's like this person that asked me this. I told him this like in very short form, obviously. I said like basically telling them how do you want to measure it really? That's the premise of this is how do you want to measure success? What do you want to get out of it? And I think that's for a lot of things in life, right, Nima?
Yeah.
Like it's not just online content creation. It's what can you put in and what do you want to put in and what are you
Yeah.
gonna get out of it? And you know,
No, I mean, what I'd say about it is, because I've been through different things where it's even though it's Twitch, there's many things that everybody does
hmm
that is adversity. It's an obstacle. In this situation, when you started out, you didn't have many, but it was something where you were able to do it at the time because right it also you have to take into account can you take the time and can you really go ahead and take a chunk out of your day to go stream and like Ian said like if you do once a week and that works for you and you enjoy it then you got to measure success like that. I think the hardest thing that we do to ourselves nowadays is we look at this wall, right? We look at this massive wall, we look at this person that is you look at the top streamers you're talking about in that Z class, I'd say,
hmm
right? The top of the line class. And you're like, oh, how do I get to that? Or even in your tier, how do I get to that?
hmm
Like, what am I supposed to do? And of course, right? It's hard when you look at it like that because you don't see the amount of steps behind how it got there. So I think if you are interested in doing streaming and things like that, you got to take a day at a time. Each day is a battle. You have one day, like Ian said, if you stream on a Saturday and you go 5 hours, you have 5 views, and you had fun doing it. That's you check that day off. Okay, that I did good. That you know what I mean. I was comfortable with how I did that day. I felt
hmm
successful that day. That's how I measure my success. Then you got to go to day two. Then you go look, and it's like after 30 days, after 50 days then you're like, okay, like I'm getting more views, or I'm just still enjoying this.
yeah,
That is the success for you. And with us, to be honest, why we do this podcast is right. Sometimes maybe not a lot of people listen, and we have people tap in on more videos rather than others. For us, it's fun to do because Ian
yeah,
and I, we dude, like guys, like we will literally call each other and just banter about shit.
all the time.
So, and it's just kind of like how our friend group is, and that's why we came up with this. Was like, well, we like to talk and do things like this. Why don't we just make a podcast and just talk on video? Whether we have 5 views, we 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 went to day one. We're on episode 11. Like, it's crazy. The first day we didn't have anything. Then we kind of set it up. Now we're kind of comfortable. I mean, if you listen to us day one, we weren't even. I don't even think we were that fluid, right? We didn't know what to do and
Yeah,
kind of like how to start. But now, like, we just hop on and we just bring topics up. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is assess the situation you're in, and Ian's 100% right. The success comes from how you measure it because what makes you feel like comfortable. No one else can tell you that. That's kind of your innate level. So you take it day by day, and that wall starts coming down because you got to chip at it. You got to chip at it, and sometimes it doesn't go your way. Then there's no regrets. You did it, right? You enjoyed it. Maybe
yeah,
like Ian said, if I stopped, if it's a chore, then I love doing it, but it's a chore, so I'll take a step back. So that's how it is, just day at a time.
yeah. And I know people personally. I know myself. Sometimes you just feel like it's a chore and you just don't want to do it. And I'm glad you brought up the podcast. It's a good way of looking at it. Like, there's something new that I'm doing, obviously, and that we're both doing.
Mm.
And how I measure success right now is, did I have a good time doing it, and how did we do as a pairing? And I think that the other than episode one, I'd say like since episode like 3 or 4, I think we've been much better in terms
Improved.
of definitely, yeah, 100% improvement, definitely room for improvement, obviously. But
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, but like I to me right now, I measure this podcast success on how do how do I enjoy the conversation so far. I've been enjoying it this week. Just wanted to put that out there. But last week I thought was probably our best episode. I thought, honestly,
Yeah, you did good. I think
I re-listened to it. I was like, this is a lot of fun. Recording was a lot of fun. And another part of measuring success was And you talk about my early days from Twitch. Like I did it for fun. I had good time, you know, and then the more I did it was I started to measure success a bit differently, and that's when I started to not enjoy it. Was for about a year when I was getting pretty much the same in terms of interaction, but I guess I just wanted a bit more. And then I started to measure success differently, thus not enjoying the game I was playing, which was Star Wars Battlefront 2, and also not enjoying streaming as well. That's why
Mhm.
you can probably go back to my channel and find about 35 million rage clips of me playing Battlefront 2 because I hated that game so much at the end. I was like, fuck this game, I want to play a different game. And God, okay, God, I'm sorry, bit of a rant here.
That's so funny.
Like my latest range compilation that came out like 4 or 5 months ago. That last
Oh
Star
yeah.
Wars Battlefront clip, the one where I slammed the controller down, was the last time I played that game. That's the last time I played Star Wars Battlefront 2. So you can imagine, so like that's kind of like what I was going through. It's like I just didn't enjoy it, and then but
Yeah.
obviously like as I grew a bit more, I started measuring the bar of success a bit differently. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, success is how you measure it, man. And I think that, and again, that's for a lot of things in life, really.
It is.
Yeah, and like, you can play basketball at the rec center with your friends, but you don't want to measure your success against, Michael fucking Jordan, or else you'll be
Exactly,
unsuccessful.
because this is a perfect analogy. Because
Yeah,
you're not going to get there tomorrow.
right,
You go
exactly.
in, if you can make 10 shots in a row, and you're like, you start with 2 shots in a row. Then you can start with 5 shots in a row. Then you get in the groove, and now you're taking spin move, dribble pull ups after like 5 months, 6 months. Like, there is work that needs to be put in it. And I will say, if you put the work in, like, it'll go your way. And whether you get where you want to be or you didn't, like you learned something, you did something,
Yeah,
and you
and then
enjoyed
I
doing
guess
it.
is the next question would be the simple one that I'm asked a million times is how do you become successful? As you said, if you really are serious about it, it is hard work and consistency and a fuck ton of luck. Because I did not think I was gonna be able to do any streaming stuff, and
Yeah.
then I switched games, played Black Ops 3, and I got lucky and got caught, and I was able to catch on the wave of Cold War hype, people watching Black Ops 3 and speedrunning because I started speedrunning it, and then of course there was like the whole reaction content thing and whatnot, and then I got lucky and rode that wave up to, I wouldn't say where that's what I'm now, but like that's like the first genesis of my success on Twitch, I guess, in terms of numbers. But yeah, man, I guess
No,
like for
no,
me, yeah, measuring success is how much you're basically a cost benefit analysis. And
exactly.
cost benefit
And
analysis. Go ahead. Yeah.
no, I was gonna say another thing is I'd say you will get where you want to be if you're good at something. That one, and that seems obvious, but if you think about it, the people that kind of are where they are, and obviously there's outliers, but the people that are talking about where they are, they're really good, right? When you watch somebody play, like even when I watch Ian play, I'm like, damn, he's good. Like we always knew, like I've seen him play before, like I've seen him play all these games, like I've been around my brother's a gamer, my closest friends like you, so when you're like good, people want to watch you. So if you were like, "Hey, I like this game and this that," and you work on it and work on it and you're really serious about it, like people will come watch you because you know what you're doing and you are good to watch. You're good
Yeah.
to watch on the broadcast,
Yeah.
right?
And like the behind the scenes stuff, as you kind of talk about, like I obviously I'm playing supers right now, as many as people know if you watch my streams. But I off stream I will play at least an hour or two a day just practicing on one singular map and just
Yep.
going through it and practicing. And obviously like I practice probably I'd say Rise and Drop, Zetsu no Shima, and Revelations, but the problem is of course it's different from when you're actually playing the game. But like that's the stuff I do in the background. It's like when I'm doing those practices, I'm working towards the goal of record, obviously,
Yeah.
and the goal of being having success on Twitch, I guess, in terms of numbers and whatever. But I kind of just want to talk about this real quick, just because it was something that I
Yeah, no,
was
good.
was a
It's a
it
good
was a
topic.
great it was a great. Honestly, I'm surprised. Most of the questions I get are the easy the simple one is, how do you grow on Twitch? And of course, there's no easy way to say it, because again, people measure success differently. They don't, and then they don't get affiliate or partner within like a month. They start to get all upset, because I remember a couple. I'm not gonna name my names because there's no need to. God, they're so ingrained in my memory now because they were so annoying to me. For God's sake, I don't even want to say their names, but like it was just some people about a year or so ago, maybe a bit more, that would just get all upset because they weren't they had X amount of views on Twitch, and I'm just like, I told them, like, you gotta see what you're putting into it in order to see what you get out. Like, again, cost benefit analysis, obviously, but you got to measure success differently. And some people just can't learn that, and that does kind of suck, because Twitch is a great platform. Obviously, there's pros and cons to everything, just like how there's pros and cons to a car and to a gun or whatever in life. And I, there's but online content creation can be really good, and if you do it the right way and you're nice to people, and honestly, the best thing is being nice as well. Being nice is also being a good way to being success. I like to think of myself as a very low controversial person. I don't engage in Twitter beef or whatever, because I think that's one, it's a complete waste of time and way too much energy, and I'd rather not be typing on Twitter and whatnot and talking shit about people. That some people talk shit about me, but I don't care to respond. But it's a great place, and if you're nice to people and you get also getting part of a community, is a good thing as well, because again, measuring success. If you join a community and you have a good time in it, then I think that's a successful thing on Twitch. You only stream once a week, but you got people in Discord that you talk to, and another, like, online source of friends. And I think that
Yeah, that's a
I
good point.
my Discord's getting growing every day, and people are interacting with each other, and I feel like that the people that are regularly interacting in there, I feel like for them that I've given them some sort of online success as well, in terms of, like, finding new people that can share interests with them and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
and I think again, if you're getting into Twitch, take it day by day. Take it year by year, honestly, if you really want to be serious about it. Because it took me about two and a half. Fuck, shit. It was about a year and about like 20 plus months for me to get any interaction on Twitch. So take your time. Will it happen? Probably not. Maybe no. Who knows? But if you give it your effort and you have fun with it, and at the end of the day, that's all you can do. So that's all I got on that, because again, I can't remember who asked me the question. If you're watching this, great question. That was amazing. That was the best Q&A I've ever had in my life, because it was one question I could talk
Nice. That's
years about
good.
it. Years about it. So thank you very much. But quick shift from that to the NBA. And we haven't talked about the NBA in a couple weeks, because it's just been the summer league.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, we haven't talked about NBA.
yeah,
We wanted to talk about a little bit of KD and DeAndre Ayton
yeah,
action.
because we talked about that on the Kyrie and John Wall podcast.
Let's let's talk about DeAndre Ayton first.
You
I
talking about
want to I
DeAndre
want to
Ayton?
I
Yeah.
want to wrap up tonight with KD.
Okay, sounds good. So DeAndre Ayton re-signed, got his offer sheet matched by Phoenix for 4 years, $133 million. Jesus Christ, that's way too much money.
That is way too much money.
But as I said, remember I was saying about this, how they shouldn't overreact, and they should keep that core together. And I
They
think
did though.
and I think that's what they're doing. And Tom Sarver was willing to pay, I think it was like $62 million this year to keep Aiden on their payroll, because of luxury tax and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so he signed with the Pacers and made an offer sheet, and it was like 2 seconds later where Woj was like, "Oh yeah, they've matched." And I'm like, "Okay," so there was like zero drama there. So, what do you think about them re-signing Aiden? I think it's a great deal, but obviously, like, they kind of had to bite a little bit with the money, though. Obviously,
Yeah, I mean, I think it was fine. I think it was good for them to get DeAndre Ayton because here's the thing. You can't just let DeAndre Ayton walk. and not get anything for him.
Yeah.
You screw yourself. Because even though DeAndre Ayton didn't play that well in the playoffs, and I think that he's a little bit overpaid, I don't think he should be getting paid that much. But there are not that many centers in the league that are worth having. And the center position has kind of dwindled down as the years gone on because we're now in a very stretch five kind of league.
Yeah.
So many people shooting from the outside, it's hard to be a center because they get killed. But if you can have a center, doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, if you gotta go small ball, you can. So it's like giving up DeAndre Ayton for nothing. Like if they were somehow getting like Miles Turner, okay, like
I don't think Miles Turner is better than DeAndre Ayton.
I think he is, but then it would be tough because I'd be like, at least they're getting something. But at the same time, like the 4 years, 133. The reason I have a problem with this contract, and is I don't have too much of a problem to be honest. It's like I was gonna say that they need, if they need to sign someone else or give some, move money around, they'll have some to use. But I guess with your ideology of keeping that core, then they're kind of just. I see it as they've dedicated to this team.
And I think,
They've
yeah,
done it.
I think they should. I mean, we talked about it before. They won 67 or 68 games this year. I'd say like that doesn't
How
happen.
many years do you think CP3 even has?
I say he has about 2 more good years, and then after that, it's like, well, we've entered the I don't know if you can play that much phase, in my opinion. But the thing is about his game is that he doesn't require athleticism. Thus, he can play a little bit longer for him. Of course, him being a very small stature, but he's more a mind game than a physical game.
Yeah.
So I think guys like obviously is a physical and mental, but Chris Paul doesn't have those attributes, but he can still play LeBron esque in terms of like he can play the game very long and be 40 years old and probably still be effective.
Yeah,
Um,
if his injuries don't kill him,
right,
don't get
exactly.
him
Yeah, and
so
injuries will
career.
play a partner. Will play a factor, but as they always
Yeah.
have with Chris Paul though,
I, th- I
obviously.
think um I think Phoenix, it's worth running it back. Sometimes like that blowout was awful, but like I hope they respond to that. I hope they come in and they're like, you know what, like we're not gonna get clowned like this. And this makes me think I kind of want to even talk about Dallas's crew because now, like, I want to talk about like a few of the teams here.
Oh
I'm just
yeah, for
going to kind
sure.
of quickly go through it a little bit, but we don't have to go in detail. I'm just saying. So if you look at Dallas, I saw their lineup: Luca, um, Dinwiddie. Then what's his name? Who he just
Tim
started?
Hardaway.
No,
The
I don't think
Matt.
Tim Hardaway will start. I think it's what's that guy's name? Number 42.
Oh, Dorian Finney-Smith.
Dory Finney-Smith
Yeah.
at the three. And then JaVale McGee and Christian Wood.
So okay, so here's what I saw on Twitter sphere. A little bit from Tim McMahon, the guy who like does all ESPN Texas basketball.
Yep.
He said that Christian Wood might not start actually. It'd be Maxi Kleber that starts at the 4. And then there's now this whole so now there's this whole thing of a Christian Wood will start or not. And of course, Christian Wood is a very prideful person, as we know as Rockets fans. And honestly, I just don't know if Christian Wood, if he comes in with a shitty attitude, then that team to me is completely screwed from game one.
Oh,
Because
dude, I didn't know they were having this problem. I
they're
knew it. I'm like I'm glad we got rid of Christian Wood. When he came in here, I was like, okay, I'm happy. But I know Ian that you wanted to see him like,
okay. I've started to roll back on that a bit because of this shit right here. Like
I
because
think
of
he's one of those guys that I don't think he really cares too much about winning and losing. He cares a lot about his own attributes.
mhm.
But he's literally like I can't explain Christian Wood. He the way he talks and he's always like, "Oh, like I was the chosen one. And I'm supposed to be doing this." And it's like we gave you a little bit of money. We're the worst team in the league, and you can keep talking like this. You serious right now? I mean, and he's scoring 35 points on 7 threes when we're down like 20 points. Like, what are we talking about? So, I think he's kind of goofy. I think he's kind of goofy. He's like that kid that was, bullied a little bit, and then he comes up and he's like, I can't explain Christian Wood, man. He's
Yeah,
just so
I think that
weird to
he
me.
he would be a great six man for that team because I think that like if they want to start out because you think about it, their lineup right now is a very defensive oriented lineup with Luca as one of the best guards ever, basically.
Why
So,
would they not want to start? Why would they want to put Kleba over
well, I
him?
think it's because of the defense, and Cleveland can shoot
Oh yeah.
threes.
Oh god.
And so what you'd have was you'd have a lob threat McGee. You'd have Kleba at the rim or on the 3 point line, excuse me.
Kleba is not a bad
And then you
defender.
have Tim Hardaway, I'm assuming he comes out from injury, and Dorian Finney-Smith as 3-and-D players, and then Luca just doing Luca things. Your defense is going to be great, and your offense is going to be really good as well. So that's why I think Christian would excel in a six-man role is because he would probably be playing guys that aren't as good as him, and defense wouldn't have to be a huge thing for him because he
Yeah,
could just
good luck. He's
come
not
off
gonna.
and score. But
Yeah, he's
now
not
if he
gonna.
wants to start, I just don't know if I like that lineup that much because Christian Wood's gonna want to grab the ball and kind of stop it a bit. To be
That's
honest,
what I'm saying. He's slow. He's ISO. He wants to do this stuff himself, and it's like the thing that's gonna be a rude awakening for him is this is not even close to anything of his team. He's gonna be the sixth man. Like this is Luca's team till for another decade or two.
yeah,
Okay.
he needs to understand that. I don't think he does
You need to
though.
understand that. There's nothing's gonna go well. Like, dude, Mark Cuban was like, "I'll divorce my wife to keep Luca around." Like Christian Wood, he'll send you to the nether realm if you don't cooperate. So, yeah, that one's interesting. And then the Knicks. The Knicks are so interesting to me because they're trying to get Donovan Mitchell, and they got like, dude, I think losing Jalen Brunson for Dallas hurts. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be honest.
it does, but there's no way you can justify keeping him in that price. I think it was 4 years, 100+ million. I would not pay Jalen Brunson that amount of money. And then now, as I said, New York wants to put him
But
with
dude,
Donovan
I
Mitchell.
wouldn't either. But I'm gonna be honest, Ian. Jalen Brunson went so
Oh,
stupid in the
he
playoffs.
was great.
He was unbelievable. He was like one of those players I just will remember forever. Like he was automatic. I mean, he was so consistent in every series. Like if he had the ball, I'm like he's scoring. He's scoring. It doesn't matter if he does his little like fadeaway turn, rainbow arc shot. It's going in. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's overpriced, but this is New York, right? New York is so ass. They're so desperate. Like they're thinking of suddenly giving Julius Randle over for Donovan Mitchell. You think they're gonna take that?
No, and I think I mean if they put the thing is they put Mitchell and Brunson together, that is going to be one of a very small backcourt.
It's gonna
With
get backwards gonna get
yeah,
annihilated.
the defense is going to be awful. But I think what they're hoping is that if they sign Jalen Brunson or Jalen Brunson, excuse me, now that they sign, excuse me, not that if they sign him, that he's going to somehow revive Julius Randle into what he was back in the 2021 season.
Dude, Julius Randle, they're gonna start
I'm
him,
like,
dude.
I don't know. Like he was so bad last year.
His
Like
shot IQ and his basketball IQ is so bad.
yeah, I think that he just had one. Like, he's a nice player, but he can't be your number one option on a team.
No, dude,
And
he chunks up threes. He literally like I was
he's
watching
not a
him
good
play last
shooter
year.
either.
He chunks up terrible shots, contested. Isn't
Yeah,
that like what are you doing? When you had that good season, you were attacking the basket. Like you can't shoot, dude. He's one of those players that genuinely got lost in the sauce, bro.
yeah. I mean,
He
like
got
he
lost in the sauce of the Steph Curry threes.
right, and I mean, like but this his best year with the Knicks was the first one was where he actually did shoot the three well, but it wasn't like it was the only thing he did. But like last
Yeah,
year, it felt like he just
yeah.
settled. He just settled, like he like
Settled for
settled last
everything.
year,
Yeah,
and
so but he was shooting better because he didn't have to shoot as much and as many bad shots. Like, if you are able to get like as as a player like him, 3 to 4 threes a game. Let's say you shoot 4 threes a game and you shoot 50%. That's pretty solid.
yeah,
That's
pretty good.
fine. And if you're like getting 10 to 15 points off something else, that you're over 20 points, right? Like, I don't know. But Julius Randle, so But let's go wrap this up with KD.
Okay.
Because where the hell is KD
Yeah,
gonna go, Ian?
so we talking about Aiden. So Aiden now cannot be traded until December 15th by league rule. The Heat cannot offer Bam Adebayo in any trade for over a year. And I'm just throwing this out there because I'm trying to think of any team. The Wizards cannot trade Bradley Beal for another year, and he has a full trade clause. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a team that
What about
that.
the Jazz?
Well, yeah. So remember, I was talking about Utah. The more I say it, the more I'm like,
The
yeah,
more I say it, the less I like
right.
it.
The less I like it for KD's sake, because that place is now complete dumpster fire, and I don't see him playing in Utah.
Dude,
So
I think he's gonna try to get to Portland somehow.
what KD? KD and Port. I'm trying to think who. So I'm trying to think if
Him and Dame, but I don't know. That's the
they'd
problem.
have to
I
give
think
up Anthony Simons, who cannot be traded until December 15th.
oh, they're screwed,
Yeah,
dude. He's screwed.
so like that's the thing. I don't know what he's going to do now
He's gonna
because
stay in Brooklyn until he can get traded.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is he gonna? What I think one thing that we know is that Kevin Durant is not James Harden. Kevin Durant will show up for training camp, regardless if he wants to trade or not, and he will hoop. He's one of those guys that like I get a feeling that where he is like, does he want out? Yes, but he's a hooper and he'll hoop. He's gonna go out there
Yeah.
and
But
draw
dude,
and draw 30
Kyrie, I don't
bombs.
know what's gonna happen with
Kyrie
Kyrie.
will not show up. I can guarantee you. Something will happen. As remember Stephen A. said, the horrible comparison. I'm not going to repeat it on here. About why Kyrie won't show up to play, but I guarantee you Kyrie will not show up to play. But KD will be there, and KD will play regardless, and he'll average 25 to 30 points a game as Kevin Durant does. But
Yeah.
once December 15th hits, that is when if you're an NBA fan wondering, that's when you'll start to hear a lot more KD stuff because I don't see him getting traded right now or any part in the first 25 games of the year until December 15th hits because that's when
Oh
all the free
shit.
agents
Do
can be
you
signed.
think that this play to keep DeAndre Ayton is to flip him for KD?
So I have thought about that. There are times well because
No.
remember you were talking about you can't lose him for nothing, right? Like one of those guys. Aiden's one of those guys where you can't just let him walk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
This
like that.
guy's
And they were saying like, oh, how we want him on the team and all that stuff. Well, whenever a GM and owner says, oh, we really have this guy and we want him to be on the team, completely ignore that. All players do because they'll trade within the next month and they could for Kevin Durant, as anyone would obviously. But I don't. You're going that much into the luxury tax for a guy. A part of me feels like you're not gonna trade him, but then if you can't trade Aiden, then the Phoenix and Brooklyn deal is completely off because that is the main cog of the deal is him and Michael Bridges, and or Cam Johnson, either or. If you can't
yeah.
trade, if you're not gonna trade DeAndre Ayton, then it's a non-starter.
But
So
dude, here's the problem I have with that. Like it sounds nice, but dude, you gotta. I think you might have to throw Michael in there.
yeah, you have to.
But dude, like that. Honestly, if I'm Phoenix, I'm like that's a no from
It
me,
just
dog.
rips your core.
It,
Like
dude, defense, like oh man, he's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year this
I can
year
see him winning one the next 2 years.
because he literally he makes that offense go. The thing that's so special about him is he has a very good, or not. He doesn't make the offense go, but he has number one. He has a very good offensive side of him. His defense is phenomenal. He's a solid two-way forward.
Yeah.
I've seen him just be able to get a steal and just offense goes. He can score anything. He's the one to get a block. He's running down the lane, get a dunk. Like if you give him away, the problem I have with that is KD's KD. All right. I would do anything to get KD on the team. But you have to look at the age. Michael Bridges is so young and he
Yeah.
has so much more potential than he has right now. And I'm not saying like he has more potential to be better than KD. He's never going to be even close to KD. But he is so good to have and he has another 10 to 15 years.
Right, and I think that's a lot the problem with all these trades is that they're including a lot of young all stars. And the thing is
Yeah.
about it that when you're from the team that's gonna try to trade for Kevin Durant, there's a timeline. Every team has a different timeline, whether it's they want to win now this year or in 3 years. Let's take Houston for example. They have the assets right now they want to trade for Kevin Durant. They have a future All Star All NBA player in Jalen Green. They have another potential defensive player of the year in Jabari Smith, and they have all of Brooklyn's picks. I guarantee you tomorrow, if Raphael Stone, Rockets GM, put on the phone and said, "Hey Brooklyn, X that for KD," Brooklyn would say yes. I can guarantee you they would say yes. But would
Yeah.
Houston want to do that though? No, because it makes no sense to what they're trying to do. Because putting KD on a team, let's say you even keep Jalen Green, a 21-year-old Jalen Green, one that's not Kevin Durant's timeline, who wants to win now, and that's not good for Jalen Green's timeline, who's trying to build and be a better player.
Yeah.
So I think that's just the problem with KD. Said his value is
It's too high.
it's one is too high, and the problem is that he's 34 years old, and that's and age counts in these trades. If he was 28, then of course no one would.
Really.
If he was 28, any young all-star is getting instantly shit for him.
Yeah, no, like, dude, every team is on the line right now.
Right, exactly. And so I've been trying to think of all these like stupid. I was trying to think of the Wizards, and I was like, wait, Bradley Beal can be traded for another year, and
It's
he has.
just like it's gonna be impossible. Like the James Harden trade was already impossible. You know the only possibility is gonna happen, right? And I bet you Adam Silver's gonna push it. Adam, I know you can hear me. I know you're gonna do it. This is what's gonna happen, man. They're gonna do like a 5 to 6 way trade. It's gonna be the biggest
Never
trade in
happening.
history, dude.
Who's
I
gonna be
bet, like,
Who's gonna be involved? Was it? Is it
I
gonna?
don't know,
Is
dude.
it,
They're trying to like
would it be okay? If there was gonna be a 4-team trade.
they're trying to get the Spurs involved. Why would the Spurs be involved?
Okay, yeah. So I was gonna say the Spurs, Rockets, Suns, and not Suns. I guess Suns or Golden State and Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And so, God, I don't want to see KD on Golden State again. Fuck that. I'm gonna be honest.
I
But
don't even think they want him, dude.
yeah, like they probably don't, but who knows?
You
And like, but 14 trades don't work because someone's gonna get pissed off and they're like,
Uh,
oh, I want this draft pick with this protection, and then someone says no, then everyone hangs up, and then it's over within 5 minutes.
I think honestly with the KD it's up in the air. I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna stay in Brooklyn, and then you're right, by December 15th, it's gonna get a little hot again, the kettle, because everybody's just DeAndre Ayton for KD. But I can't definitively say that Phoenix will do it because I don't know if they're willing to give up Mike Hill.
Yeah, I think
DeAndre Ayton, they're
sorry.
willing to give up because he wants to go.
Well, I don't know if he wants to go, but I think the him signing the offer sheet was really more of a them saying, hey, why don't you go on the market and see what you can get for
Yeah.
yourself, and then we'll match it. And because I think if obviously from Phoenix's perspective, if they just give him the qualifying offer, then that's a win for them because they barely pay him. But I think they want him to sign something longish term, but they didn't really want to set the price. They wanted some other team to set the price for them, which seems a bit risky. But I think Phoenix knew what the pool was for DeAndre Ayton, and then Indiana was like, "Hey, we'll sign you because we hate Miles Turner. We've been wanting to train for the last 2 years." Also, Miles Turner will not be a Pacer probably by December, I'd say. That's another person I think will get traded. I'm surprised he's still on the team.
Yeah, me too. I'm
But I think they did want to keep him, but I think the first 20 games will be very telling on what they do, because if they start the game they're like 13-11, I guarantee I can see Aiden getting traded for KD. But if they're like 20-4, he's not getting traded. Because this team, as young as they are now in win now mode, especially after the last 2 years, especially after last year more reason. So I just don't see where KD can go right now. And I don't know if it's like he's done. There's no way to repair it. Maybe there's no way to repair it. We obviously not in the room with him, but I think his best option is to stay in Brooklyn, or try to like. I've been trying to think of a Philadelphia trade, but when you include Tobias Harris's contract, I start kind of vomiting a bit, and then I think like that Brooklyn would do the same. So I'm like, why would I want to trade Tobias Harris for Kevin Durant and potentially Tyrese Maxey? But
I would trade Tobias Harris in a heartbeat. I would send him to the purgatory to get.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm saying that, but I'm saying in terms of Brooklyn's perspective.
Tyrese Maxey.
You'd have to give Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris for sure at the very least, and some other shit. So again, we talk about timeline. If I was Daryl Morey, I would actually be okay with that, because think about it. James Harden is the same age as Kevin Durant. PJ Tucker is also same or older than Kevin Durant and older than James Harden. Joel Embiid is what now 26. Tyrese Maxey, while he's an incredible young player, can be an all-star. I think that's the only team where I can see like he kind of fits their timeline more or less because Tyrese is a young player and all those other guys are pretty old. When Harden is done, Tyrese Maxey will be 25, 26, and Embiid will be 32, 33. And his knees aren't great, so maybe he could be potentially done playing by then. Who knows? So that's the only team right now where I can see it fits their timeline in terms of win
I feel
now.
like that would do Maxie's so good, bro.
Maxey is so good. He played great in the last playoffs. But I think that's the only team where you can see giving up a young potential all star for Kevin Durant that also meets your timeline at the same time. But again, they have they have nothing to trade for him. So and
Yeah.
again, Kevin Durant is priceless. He's
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 an impossible. He's an impossible trade.
he's one of the best scorers ever, and he's got 4 years of team security left on his deal. 4 fucking years. So
My
I like
God.
I don't see him getting traded until December 15th. In then I would be surprised if he got traded just because of the value. But the only teams out there I can see probably putting it together package would be Golden State, Houston, and in some ridiculous pipe dream Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But and Phoenix they really wanted to.
Yeah.
But
Honestly, that's the only teams.
and none of those. I mean, Phoenix sounds attractive. To be honest,
See, I don't
obviously.
think. Well, I would take the Rockets off because I don't think the Rockets are
Well,
going to do that.
I'm just saying in terms of a deal, not if
Yeah,
people
the
want
only
to do.
people capable of doing it.
Right, exactly. So they're capable of doing it, but they're not going to do it. But
Yeah.
so like again, and just the KD market is invaluable because Rudy Gobert somehow got netted 5 first-round picks. Who knows?
It's so BS,
Yeah,
dude.
we talked about that earlier, but
But yeah.
yeah, but
Um,
again, I don't really know what to think about that. We'll have to assess that. I don't think there'll
well,
be
this time
anything that
will tell.
there's gonna be nothing this week on it. So I or week the next 3 or 4 months. So yeah, we'll see. But anything else you want to add before we wrap up here, man?
No, I'm actually content where we ended off here. I wanted enough with KD, so
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah. I really enjoyed this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm still working on the animation thing, as I said. Please message me in Discord if you want to see Neima scream like a little girl when he saw a roach. Which is scarier, a roach or a snake? And an intro song, if you guys have any recommendations on how to make the intro song, send our way, and then we can do his sweet vocals. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week with episode 12. Hopefully by then we've watched Thor.
I got you
Hopefully
this
that
side.
would be
Yeah,
nice.
hopefully we'll watch Thor by
We
then.
watch Thor. I'm just gonna do both sides.
Yeah, let's
The
nice.
double salute, baby. But
The
yeah, we'll
double
see you guys on
baby.
we'll see you guys on episode 12. Thank you all for coming out. Thanks for
See ya.
watching. Peace out.